You've never heard of Etro?
No, I never.
What are you sporting tonight, Jimmy?
I don't know. I'd have to look in. Later on, we'll look. You'll go through my pants, and we'll see what I'm wearing.
What started as a lighthearted interview quickly turned tense as Robert Downey Jr. and Jimmy Kimmel engaged in a subtle battle of wit. From awkward jokes to strategic comebacks, Robert ensured he stayed in control while Kimmel pushed the boundaries. Let's break down how this interview took an unexpected turn.
Good to see you. Thanks for coming.
Thanks, Jim.
I like that suit. You look very sharp, very handsome, really very well done. Do you pick the suits out yourself, or is there a person that does this for you?
I have a consummate team of professionals.
Nice.
This is Etro.
It's what?
Etro, E-T-R-O.
That's the name of the brand?
That's right.
Okay. It's like retro, but without the R.
You've never heard of Etro?
No, I never.
What are you sporting tonight, Jimmy?
I don't know. I'd have to look in. Later on, we'll look. You'll go through my pants, and we'll see what I'm wearing.
The interview begins as any other late-night talk show appearance, lighthearted, playful, and engaging. But things take a sharp turn when Jimmy Kimmel makes a crude and unexpected comment, leaving Robert Downey Jr. visibly shocked. The audience, too, reacts with surprise, unsure whether to laugh or cringe. Kimmel's attempt at humor quickly falls flat, and Robert's facial expression says it all. He leans back, slightly adjusting his posture, signaling discomfort. Though he maintains his composure, there's an undeniable tension in the air. This moment sets the tone for what turns into a subtly combative exchange.
Hey, you had the big premiere right across the street last night.
Yes.
How did that go? Did it go well?
Oh, you know, I think this thing might do okay.
It's a really good one. I know they're all good, but this one's really good.
Yeah, it turned out, we did a bang-up job.
Do you like watching yourself as Iron Man on screen?
Yeah, more and more every time.
You do.
Yeah.
Each time it gets better.
Here's the problem, and I'm not
problem?
really giving anything away. You get to see Tony when he was really young.
Uh-huh.
And then for the rest of the movie, it's me. Mm-hmm. I kept saying, where's that young guy?
Yeah,
So
that was interesting.
I think in the follow-up films, I might just have him play me as 24.
Yeah.
That was hot.
And hey, listen, everybody was pretty excited,
Yeah.
for sure.
Rather than letting the awkward comment slide, Robert chooses to address it head-on. Robert chooses to fighting fire with fire. He delivers a sharp and clever comeback, making sure Kimmel knows he crossed the line. The audience immediately picks up on Robert's shift in demeanor. His response isn't just about getting even, it's about reclaiming his control over the conversation. Kimmel attempts to move on, but Robert isn't going to let it go that easily.
Charged
What is
up.
this about you and I in your pants? What, are you coming on to me? I just got here.
I usually wait till the second segment.
Is that what you want? I'm sorry, I'm back. I'm back.
Yeah,
It's
you're
your
back.
show.
Okay, good.
I'm here to help.
As the interview progresses, Robert continues to subtly check Kimmel's reactions, gauging whether he truly understands the awkwardness he created. Body language plays a crucial role here. Robert occasionally leans forward, tilts his head slightly, and smirks as if challenging Kimmel to acknowledge his mistake. Meanwhile, Kimmel purses his lips, a classic sign of discomfort and an attempt to suppress an emotional reaction. The audience notices this back and forth, adding to the growing tension. What started as an offhanded comment has now turned into a psychological duel, with Robert ensuring he has the upper hand.
Who had better seats, you or the accursed Captain America last night?
Did he show up?
He was at.
Not one to back down, Jimmy Kimmel decides to use his position as the host to shift the conversation in his favor. He brings up a seemingly harmless topic, the Captain America Civil War premiere, but frames it in a way that puts Robert on the defensive. He asks Robert who had better seats at the premiere, him or Chris Evans. It seems innocent, but it's a calculated move. Robert immediately senses the underlying provocation. He takes a deep breath, his eyes momentarily shifting as he processes the jab. This is no longer just an interview, it's a subtle battle of wits.
Not only that, he told me he was bringing some of the New England Patriots with him to the premiere.
On things for me, and so I'm inviting a few Patriots players.
Oh.
Kimmel then escalates things by mentioning Chris Evans' love for the New England Patriots. This might seem like casual banter, but in the context of the interview, it's another jab aimed at Robert. The implication? Chris Evans had the power to invite NFL stars, while Robert, the senior MCU figure, did not. Robert sighs before responding, clearly recognizing the attempt to provoke him. The tension between him and Evans, whether real or exaggerated, is now out in the open, The audience picks up on Robert's subtle shift in expression, realizing that Kimmel is intentionally pressing on a sensitive subject.
He gets all, I mean, he plays a real butch guy in the movie.
Yeah.
I love Captain America. I hate to say it. I'm not supposed to say it.
Right.
I love Chris. I love Captain America. Before the premiere, he's all nervous, and we're supposed to drive in the Audis. He's like, bro, I don't know. Should you go first or I should go first? I was like, man up, dude. We got to go to this premiere together.
What is he worried about? Do you know?
I think we all get jazzed. I mean, I get pumped backstage before I come out here. I think it's just over time you get a little immune to it, and then once in a while you just realize, oh, this is exciting.
This is a big deal.
I think last night he suddenly all of a sudden realized it was exciting.
He did seem excited about bringing the Patriots, which is kind of a funny thing to do. Invite
Yeah,
your favorite
Patriots,
athletes.
whatever. I'm telling you.
You didn't care at all.
Sensing Robert's unease, Kimmel continues pushing. He brings up a significant claim that Robert was the one who convinced Chris Evans to take on the role of Captain America.
You had to convince Chris to take the role of Captain America. Was that difficult to talk him into that?
This great in hindsight. I get to take credit for everything. Right? There's no Marvel Cinematic Universe without me. Yeah, I did everything.
It's like you were like.
At first, Robert plays it cool, responding nonchalantly. But there's a moment, just a brief second, where he gulps before answering, a classic body language indicator of stress. He chuckles, attempting to deflect, but the audience can sense his discomfort. Kimmel, now emboldened, leans in slightly, pressing for a more definitive answer. Robert's usual charm and wit remain intact, but he is now carefully choosing his words, aware that any slip could make him appear vulnerable.
You're indoctrinating people into a cult. He's the one that said it, though. He made this up?
I don't want to say he made it up. Do you think I just call people on the phone and say, listen, you're going to do this movie?
I don't know.
What am I like?
I don't know what you're up to.
You're right.
Caught in an awkward position, Robert first downplays his involvement in Chris Evans' casting. However, in a previous interview, he had taken credit for convincing Evans to join the MCU. Now, faced with Kimmel's direct questioning, he finds himself contradicting his past statements. Sensing that he's being backed into a corner, Robert quickly shifts gears. He laughs it off, delivers a vague response, and then, almost as if realizing he's said too much, cuts off his own sentence. The shift is subtle but effective. Kimmel recognizes the tactic but doesn't press further. Robert has successfully steered the conversation away.
Did you? Well, Spider-Man is in this movie, which I thought is really fantastic, and it's exciting for the Spider-Man movie, which Iron Man will be a part of. Is that
Perhaps
okay?
I will. We don't have a contract yet.
We don't have a contract.
No,
you get paid for these?
No, once in a while.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
At this point, Robert has had enough. His responses become noticeably shorter, and he deliberately starts cutting Kimmel off mid-sentence. Kimmel, sensing the change, pivots to a different topic, Spider-Man's role in the MCU. The audience picks up on the sudden shift, realizing that Robert has strategically forced Kimmel to abandon the previous discussion. Though the interview continues, it's clear that Robert has asserted his dominance. The power dynamic has shifted back in his favor, and Kimmel, though still holding his ground, knows he won't be able to press further without pushing Robert too far. Just when things seem to be settling down, Kimmel makes another bold move. He brings up Robert's daughter. He mentions receiving a personal photo from Robert and asks if he can share it with the audience. This crosses a personal boundary, and Robert immediately stiffens.
Is it fair to say that you take being Iron Man very seriously?
Yes. Well, I don't take myself too seriously. I take that character, Tony Stark, pretty seriously.
Because you sent me a photograph of your daughter, and is it okay if I share that photograph? Because, oh, well, I guess it's okay.
Clearly, she's made a choice.
She is definitely on
I gave her, I
Team
said,
Iron Man.
here's a shield and here's a gauntlet. It's up to you. And she just naturally gravitated towards the...
You've got an iron baby there. That is adorable.
She is so...
His previously playful demeanor fades slightly, replaced by a more serious expression. While he keeps his response measured, his body language suggests discomfort. The audience feels the shift. The topic has now become too personal, and Robert, though still in control, is visibly more cautious about where the conversation is headed next.
I know we're almost the same age, but is there any chance you would adopt me? Because I would love to be a part of the Downey Jr. family.
You know, honestly, Jimmy, I watch your show. It's always weird. I'm here on your show, but I like watch the show.
Oh,
Imagine
thank you.
being me and then you're just sitting here, and now all of a sudden you're the guest. It is a little bit odd.
It is. And will you be at home watching the show while you're on the show?
You just asked me to adopt you, correct?
I did, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think we should say hi to you at home if you're at home. Hey! Hi, Robert.
Kimmel, seemingly oblivious to Robert's discomfort, jokingly asks if Robert would adopt him. This is the final straw. Robert, no longer in the mood for playful banter, directly calls him out. "You just asked me to adopt you, correct?" His tone is controlled but pointed. Kimmel, caught off guard, purses his lips again, a telltale sign of unease. The audience laughs, but the tension remains. Robert then delivers his final blow, a cryptic remark about how strange it is to be both a guest and a viewer of the show at the same time. With this, he subtly reminds Kimmel that he's aware of the power play at hand. What started as a routine interview quickly became an intense exchange of words, wit, and power. Robert Downey Jr., known for his charm and quick thinking, ensured he left the conversation on his terms. Meanwhile, Jimmy Kimmel, despite his attempts at steering the interview, ultimately found himself being called out multiple times. Through body language, calculated comebacks, and strategic deflections, Robert not only held his own, but made it clear that he wasn't someone to be caught off guard. The audience walked away entertained, but also aware that they had just witnessed an unscripted battle between two strong personalities. Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. See you in the next one.